Hello. I'd like to thank everybody who listened to my last public video, Salvatico 3 La Fila. I hope you enjoyed that comedy album. And I like to always, as always, thank the patrons at patreon.com/Will Franken for their continued patronage and support, many of them who have been patrons for years now. Thank you so much. And I'd like to invite you all to a special event. Watch this space, as they say in the internet world, because on Saturday there will be as they say in internet speak, a video on this, as they say in the internet realm, channel. So that will be at 11 a.m. and that will be to take part in this, what's going to be a national intelligence test here in Britain called the Coronation of King Charles III. So I wonder if my video and that are going to be related. I don't know. Yeah, probably, duh. So that will be Saturday at 11. I'm going to go live, basically, and I'll tell you more about that in just a second. But basically, this is going to be a national intelligence test that Britain is having. It's held on Saturday at 11. Also called the Coronation of King Charles III. And basically, this is in response to, I don't know if you guys remember, but a little over 3 years ago, there was a global intelligence test, and maybe you took it wherever you are in the world, and the results of that global intelligence test were so poor that Britain, the leadership of Britain, decided to knuckle down and figure out where Britain went wrong in this global intelligence test. And so they're having a national intelligence test on Saturday, 11 a.m., the Coronation of King Charles III. But of course today, May the 4th, on Thursday, there are localized intelligence tests which are called local elections. And these basically the intelligence test is very simple. If you can spot the difference between the greedy, cocksucking, Etonian, technocratic Tories and their Keir Starmer New Labour counterparts, you fail the intelligence test, because in fact there is no difference at all. It's all the same gobbling machine. So that's what's happening today. There's localized elections, localized intelligence tests, as I call them in my extended metaphor, and then that is in advance of Saturday's national intelligence test, so to test where we are as a nation before the next global intelligence test. Could be a tsunami, could be a climate, we don't know. So a little bit more about that upcoming event on Saturday. Again, watch this space. I will be going live. I've only done live once, so I am a little bit pitter-patter in the heart department. But before that, in recognition of the localized intelligence test, or the local elections here in Britain, I'd like to read the following announcement.
Hello, I'm an old whore. Oh, I've not always been an old whore. In my early years, I was what you might call a young virgin. Then, in my late teens, I was made the bride of a nice young man from the bank. He worked hard and provided until he was suddenly killed by a heart attack, lung cancer, Parkinson's disease, and a bullet from his gay lover's gun, all on the same day, June 16th, 1967, the summer of love. Unexpectedly liberated from the oppressive shackles of middle-class marital servitude, I devoted the rest of the decade to the pursuit of free love, and I became, in the parlance of the times, a young whore. Throughout the winter of '67, I was an open receptacle for every male flower child at a nearby California commune. Afterwards, I became the property of the Hells Angels for a number of weeks, finishing off the '60s as a member of the Manson family sometime before the murders. But for the past 53 years, I've been your representative in Congress. Hello, my name is Barbara, Deborah, Lindra, Rildra, Oprah, May I start again, please? I was not expecting. I don't want to do the whole thing over. I just start off from the line down. Actually, I want to get the words right on this, because I love the message of old whoredom. I'm a bit of an old whore myself. My son is a new whore. Yes, he's got AstroTurf, and he pays chatbots to bump up his comments. But I believe that young whores and old whores can come together. But I'll start it again. And the voice, and we're back. Throughout the winter of '67, I was an open receptacle for every male flower child at a nearby California commune. You can read about it in my book, Hardcore Feminism. Afterwards, I became the property of the Hells Angels for Not just one. Afterwards, I became the property of the Hells Angels for a number of weeks, finishing off the 60s as a member of the Manson family sometime before the murders. But for the past 53 years, I've been your representative in Congress. Hello, my name is Barbara, Deborah, Linda, Mildred. Hello, my name is Barbara, Deborah, Linda, Mildred, Opal, May, Fruit. And I am an old whore. As an old whore, I know a thing or two about the rough and tumble world of baby boomer geopolitics. And I know that without at least some insincere utopianism, a whore is just a whore. That's why when it comes to the important things, like COVID, like climate, like the war for Ukraine, or the coronation of King Charles III, it's important to come together, spread our legs, and grease our holes for everybody and everything. Republicans, Democrats, Tories, New Labor, Pfizer, Microsoft, GB News, or the National Front. I've come a long way from the idealistic young whore I used to be. As an old whore, I know that freedom is never free, which is why I'm glad the job I do, serving you, pays so well.
Boy, I really fucked that up, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. That little ditty I just came up with called An Old Whore. And old whores eventually will get together with young whores, and they'll all, the young whores are the guys who know how to pump up their channel. They know what things like when somebody named Vivek Puri writes you and says, hey, I noticed your Google SEO is down in the rankings. You know what that means? And you buy AstroTurf, and you pump out this same culture war message on Twitter every day, and you call yourself a satirist. That's a young whore. And young whores may call the old whores woke all they want, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the important things, like your health, like your mental health, like the coronation of King Charles III, it's important to come together and spread our rusty old drippy flying festive vaginas and receive anything and everybody that puts your money in our twat. Anyway, so the national intelligence, those are the local intelligence tests, going down to really basically I want to take this downfield. So, and I don't want to make this very long because I don't really do public videos that often. I want to wait till I have a big film or a big project ready and then say, ta-da! There's a little bit long periods of dormancy, you might have noticed. Now, the patrons at patreon.com/Will Franken get a video every week. A video, a sketch, whatever they are, every week. Because they pay me. Okay? But I do want to do this live thing because I don't want to let this coronation go unnoticed. And I will be doing, what I'm going to be doing at 11 a.m. is I'm going to go live. I'm going to press that live button. As much as I don't like this internet where I'm going to do it live and I'm going to watch the coronation and provide some alternative commentary. So it might be a bit of fun. I'm going to be joined by a whole cast of thousands, all in my head. And we're going to take you through, we're going to talk about things that maybe the BBC won't touch, like the pedophilic uncle or Charles's relationship with Jimmy Savile, whether or not he had his ex-wife whacked, as they say in the mafioso films. We're going to deal with all sorts of fun things, and it's going to be completely improvised, and I hope a lot of fun. And there's going to be a cast of thousands, and I hope you enjoy it, and I do invite you to come. And if you like what you see, and if you like what you've seen today, do consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/willfranken. And, okay, so I want to talk about the local elections, because politics are very important. You know, folks, you got to get out there. You got to get out there. You got to get registered. You got to get out there. If you want to stop this Tory demon, you got to get out there. Now, I'm going to go through some flyers here. I want to show you now. Now, what I noticed is, as some of you noticed, when I was doing videos during the, the global intelligence test about a little over 3 years ago, I was saying, isn't it funny that the government's saying this work is essential and that work is not essential? And I look out my window and I see the forest being destroyed to build the big white digital home, techno homes, everywhere, rip-offs. And the council, they charge me £93 a month for the privilege of this. To say, oh, no, but it's like helping the economy. As long as the economy will go, then I should not be upset at this. Why bothered? Why bothered? I don't know. I'm not the Milton Friedman. I sit back and say, okay, they know what they're saying. The Tories know. They know what the economy is. I don't. I'm just an artist. I think money is made of spider webs. You know, what do I know? So, no. I joke. I look out the window. I say, this is bullshit. But none of the papers said nothing of this. None of the political things until this year. And what order do I want to go in? Let's take this one, the socialist. We have the socialist. Now, I was so impressed with this, not because I'm a socialist, but everything went out the window for me 3 years ago. Everything went out the window. And so I'm open to all possibilities. And the socialists say, so basically what happened here in Folkestone, I don't know what happened in your town, but immediately, days after the lockdown, bulldozers and chainsaws went to work to build ugly luxury projects everywhere. Whole parts of highs destroyed. It's disgusting. Just a big pig fest. Highest bidder pig fest. Okay, so which added to my skepticism, shall we say? This government had my best interest at heart, especially when it came to things about my health, as they say. According to a county council report, parts of both the harbour and central wards of Folkestone are among the 10% most deprived areas of England. So how many residents do you think will be able to afford the multi-million-pound apartments now being constructed in their front yard? Anyway, it gives great detail as to what is really going on, why people should be upset, and why people should consider things like not paying their fucking council tax. Because if these cocksucking Tories only speak the language of money, which it's evident that they do, they have no moral compass. It's money, money, money at the trough money. That's the only language they speak. Then your response to their language should be to withdraw communicating that language for 1 month. And I've tried to tell people this for years now. 1 month, do not pay your council tax. And see if they come to, is there a problem? Sorry, it seems to be a problem here. What can we do to make it better? But as long as you keep paying them, they'll keep ramming it right up your fucking ass. So that was a socialist, and I actually got a hold of the socialist, because even though I'm not a socialist and I'm not going to vote, because I think the cards, there's so many reasons to hate the Tories, that there's so many splinter groups which keep splitting the vote. Because Labour is doing nothing. They're just Keir Starmer technocratic puppets. They're there basically to do this, to do the same, old whore business. But at least the socialists were specific about what's happening here. So I called the socialist, and about 4 in the afternoon, and the guy answers the phone. He goes, "Hello? Well, yeah, I was just saying I liked your flyer about." "Oh right, yeah, flyer, yeah, okay. So you want to? Well, I wanted to see if you needed some help, like sticking them through letterboxes or something." "Oh right, yeah, okay, right, okay, yeah, right." "Okay, mate, what's, can I get your name, mate?" "Right, okay." And I've never heard back from him, so, I get it. I mean, people sleep at 4 in the afternoon, but my girlfriend did point out it was a little bit of a cliche. "Hello, socialist. Sorry, we're taking a nap." "Yeah, right, oh yeah, right, revolution, yeah, okay, right, overthrow the capitalist pigs, yeah, okay, mate, yeah, right, okay. Sorry, mate, yeah, mate, just let me get my, Neil? No, man, no, I don't want to be a heavy breadhead, man." But, the socialist was an improvement on the Labour. So here's Labour's flyer. It's cute, it's red, there's big, "I am voting Labour, Labour Thursday, all your candidates and the dates." And what are they going to do? Did they get specific? They want to build more council housing to cut the waiting list. In other words, they want to invite more greedy developers in Maseratis to come and fuck you in the ass and then say, "I'm sorry, we didn't make them all council house." Well, these are actually luxury. So I don't know how they got mixed up. So they want to invite more people to fuck, because they're all getting backhanders. The Labour and the Tories, they're all sharing from the same pig pile of your money and my money. They want to, this is the move to net zero overall for council operations. So right now, the council are ripping you off in a non-net zero way, right? They're fucking you in the ass, but it's happening in a non-net zero way. By 2030, we, the Labour Party, want to have the council fucking you in the ass in a what do they call it? Net zero overall. We're going to do this in a net zero way. And I know it's still going to feel like, you're being raped out of your money. I know that. Nothing can change that. That's out of our Labour Council hands. and our Tory council hands, because we're one and the same. That's out of our hands. But isn't it going to feel good to have it done to you in a net zero way? That's going to feel really nice. So that's their bullshit, absolute nothing. And then we have this guy running, he's running for an independent. Now he runs a website called Shepway Vox, which points out the corruption of our local council, and maybe you've got one wherever you live, you know, how they're grifting money from the people and fucking them in the ass with these high-priced developments. Anyway, there's him, and I can't get a hold of him. I don't know where he is, but I'm not going to vote. I'm just saying these are our choices. Now, these were all shoved through the letterbox. The Tories, on the other hand, actually sent these things. I'm not a member of the Tory party. I'm not a member of any political party. But somehow they got the names of everyone in this building and on this blog, and they put this in an envelope and with a postmark. You know, so the Tories have, you know, control of the, you know, the postal system, and everybody got one of these hand delivered to their door, unlike these that were just kind of shoved in. You know, the Tories, you know, and it reminds me of Adolf Hitler's Ja oder Nein election. You know, you could vote Nein, but everybody's voting Ja for Führer. And this, we have our local scumbag Tories. This will remain a Tory constituency because it is a receptacle for Tory money. And I'll tell you, I'm just going to point out one thing, and then I'm going to get back to Saturday at 11. If you want some live commentary, I'm going to go live on this channel for the second time ever, and I'm going to riff commentary in various voices. And I'd like to thank the patrons at patreon.com/Will Franken for making this historic comedic event possible. But let me just point out one sentence. Now here's what the Tories say. Here in Folkestone Central, we've managed to secure 19,791,819 pounds. Right? Let me stop there. We've managed to secure. For over 2 years, I was ringing the council and complaining to the council and shouting at my own MP who was in the street one day, this asshole Damian Collins, who, when everybody's freedom was being taken away, he was banging on about, why can't we sing Rule Britannia anymore? Why are the woke people saying we can't sing Rule Britannia anymore? He was out in the street talking to old ladies. You know, I know, isn't it a shame? It's like, no, you can't say Rule Britannia anymore. It's sad. It's really, really sad. When they're being, nobody can see their face anymore. And there's Damian Collins acting like he's a freedom fighter. And you got cocksucker, scumbags. Anyway, so for 2.5 years going on about this, you know, why is this environmentally protected neighborhood being destroyed to build these ugly homes? The answer was always the same. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Franken, that's the word from central government. Because that's what central government is. The Tory party is a big open receptacle of greed and whoredom and nepotism and why anybody would believe in anything they fucking say. These little this new type of conservative that's half Margaret Thatcher and half Constantine kissing on a little, you know, astroturfy type and share. Technocratic conservatives or pseudo-conservatives. So when they say we've managed to secure, Folkestone Central Council has managed to secure, they meant that they just opened up and had the Tory central government shove them some money, because all of these are fucking Tory projects. And as far as that fucking war for Ukraine, how many of these fucking developments are Russian funded? You know, it's a little bit weird that we're not quite at war with them, no, but we do love those. I wonder if they're going to win Eurovision again. Do you think they will? Anyway, so when they say we've managed to secure, they just mean we opened up and spread wide for the government funding. Of how much? 19,791,819 pounds to revitalize our town center. And what that meant for me was that the 2 cafes that I enjoyed before lockdown, you know, the ones that serve tinned tomatoes and baked beans and, you know, your good old standard English fare, have been wiped out and everything has been luxurized. And that's not what I wanted. I didn't want that. Which means addressing parking issues, because God knows everybody in the fucking world can afford a car right now. So that's the Tories. They you know, it's a Ja oder Nein thing. And speaking of Ja oder Nein, there's this thing called the Homage of the People. Have you heard of this? It's very suspicious. Justin Welby, the head of the Satanic Church, the Anglican Church, get it? Justin Welby is going to ask everybody in the world, wherever they're watching, to take an oath of allegiance to the king and all his heirs. Let me see if I can find this. And then I'll let you guys go because, I haven't talked to the public in quite some time, but, this hit me about, a couple of days ago. I thought, you know what? So my girlfriend and I were just going to sit this out because I like the John Milton message, I like England, but England does not mean king, And for those of you who don't think that England means king, or shouldn't in this, supposedly modern age, and maybe you're feeling a bit of the cost of living crisis, and maybe you're not, when you're not allowed to double glaze your own house because the council won't give you permission to double glaze your own windows, but they can completely destroy a forest outside your fucking window to build these luxury homes at $6 million a pop. You do start to wonder, what is your stake in society? I've always existed on the fringes of society, but now I feel like totally rudderless and out of society. Let's find this homage. They call it Homage of the People. They had to rebrand it because oath to the king sounds a little bad, but Homage of the People. It's Homage of the People. Public invited to swear. Now they're invited, they're not commanded, but they're invited to swear allegiance to King Charles. This is from the BBC. The public pledge is one of several striking changes. Now what's the change? The change is this. It used to just be done by the knights. So you had to be a lord or lady to say, we swear an oath of loyalty. We spread our legs for the oil of loyalty. We oath our loyalty. An homage of the peers, but in this remarkable change, guess what? You, Jane and John Doe, and you, Doris the chimney sweep, and you, Robert the charwoman, you can all join in. Even you, little Oliver, with your bowl of gruel, even you can take part. It's not just for the kings anymore. Now we're all invited. Can you imagine what a part of something you're going to be, little Oliver? I know your belly's grumbling, but your heart won't be when you're invited to pay homage to the king. So this is a striking change. The Christian, quote unquote, the Christian service will also say religious leaders from other faiths have an active part for the first time. Despite the the theme of the service is called "Call to Serve." A bit of a dominatrix, yes, mistress type ring to it. Where's the slimy little Archbishop of Canterbury, who you might remember his most famous religious quote, I think, of all time. I think it was a homily he was giving on freedom, and he said, "Wear your mask." So he took all that biblical wisdom over the ages, all that biblical exegesis, and out it comes through the mouth of Justin cocksucking Welby as, "Put on your mask, don't be selfish." The order of the service will read. So the homage of the people, which is what they're calling this, replaces the traditional, is it homage? Homage. I should know this, I'm not stupid. Homage of peers. So it's basically like, instead of the knights doing it, we all get to do it. Where hereditary peers swear allegiance to the new monarch. Instead, everyone in the abbey and watching at home will be invited to pay homage in what Lambeth Palace described as a chorus of millions. The order of the service will read, all who so desire, and I was going to compare this with Hitler's oath, the oath to Hitler. Let's do a textual analysis. Did anybody take editorial English in university? We're going to do a comparative line-by-line textual analysis. Oath to the Führer. Let's compare the two. Is there much of a difference? Now, this one was not Hitler's, I don't believe, was an invite. This has been rebranded as an invitation. All who so desire, in the abbey and elsewhere, say together, "I swear that I will pay true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors according to law, so help me God." And the older version is, "I swear to you, Adolf Hitler, as Führer and Chancellor of the German Reich, that I will be loyal and brave. I pledge obedience unto death to you and those you appoint to lead, so help me God." So they both end with "so help me God." those you appoint to lead, that could be translated to, Charles's heirs and successors. So true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors. So if for some reason the sex trafficking participant Andrew ever becomes king, that includes him as well. Or just, cute little Kate or William. William of the Great. Do you know William? Oh, there's a great photo of mine. I wasn't really into the royals, but there's a photo of William answering a phone and taking an order at a pub, and I thought he's downright one of us, isn't he? He's downright one of us. I don't feel like there's this divide as much as I do with somebody like, I don't know, Meghan Markle with her, oh, I'm an American. I've also been working on a theory that having lived in both countries now for quite some, 10 years, over 10 years I've been out here now, so an entire decade of living out here and learning the hard way, going from tourist to actual participant in a bizarre nightmare, under this psychotic leadership. But it's global. Don't get me wrong, it's global. It's just different countries manifest their madness differently, and I've come to believe that the madness of the Brits is one of despair. It's like you just can't seem to get a revolution started, and especially now people are really craving, Netflix and pizza comedy. So I like pizza. I really do like pizza, but I like Netflix as well. Do you watch Netflix? What about pizza? You like pizza? I like pizza and Netflix together. Now that's my perfect night. Until the missus cometh home and she says, well, I want to watch what I want on Netflix. Yeah, look at the guys. They're like, I know what that's like. I know. Then all of a sudden, you're not watching the Netflix show you want to watch. Or eating the pizza you want to watch because she wants to eat lady pizza. But I want to eat man pizza. And I've never been I've never been very good at Netflix and pizza comedy. Anyway, what did that have to do with anything? So that's the homage of the people, the homage of the people, the whitewash of the people. And having lived in both countries, I think the British madness is born of despair, but the American madness is born of delusion. And there were no kings in America, so everybody could become their own little king. And that's the private industry nightmare. I started off as what I was a witchcraft doctor. I used witchcraft, and then my heirs became the head of Pfizer. And that's just the way it is, and it's sort of grandfathered in. Why am I making them British? What's the American equivalent? I'm Nelson Rockefeller. And I started off as I sold dirt to dirty people. That's how good a salesman I was. And using these principles, my relatives now own all of the United States. And so there's little kings and little tyrants. Actually, I made an argument the other day that Charlie Manson's rhetoric at many times has actually been the rhetoric of the United States government. It's just it's a little bit self-pity. It's a lot of it. I started from nothing. I fed your children from my garbage cans, and you call me crazy? You say I'm a murderer? You've been killing your kids every day. And I fed them from your garbage cans. Because I love them, I took them in. And that's America. You deal with lots of little mini kings that you got to knock down one by one, like Night of the Living Dead. Just kind of find your way through. And sometimes that delusion turns out to be a reality. Like you can believe I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I was born in a small town, but goddamn, I'm not going to die in a small town. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to do something. I'm going to go on stage, And every now and then something happens. But that's America's madness, is delusion. And sometimes when that delusion doesn't match up to reality, then people go haywire. And then here, I think that the madness is born out of despair. It's just like, well, talk about the weather. No, I read about that. I read about Jimmy Savile. I don't like what's been happening to the landscape around here. I don't, necessarily. I know that GB News is a Tory-funded network, and it's just government propaganda that disguises itself as free speech and free debate. I know all that. I do. But what can you do at the end of the day? Just talk about the weather. Just get on best you can. Go home and go boing, 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 boing. So we're having a national moment of despair, and the bunting's out, and I'd like to apologize to everybody. Basically, I'm doing some karmic atonement because there's a difference between coming someplace from afar and then over the course of time going, oh my God, I got a lot of shit wrong. It wasn't just people going fascist Tory like Rick Mayall. there's a lot of weird shit happening here, man. And, and then you add in the whole internet thing, which is just global weirdness. It does make people a little potty. But I think, I don't know what you think of that theory, but yeah, the American madness is born of delusion, and the British madness is born of despair. And there's a great moment of despair Saturday, as I said, and I hope you can join me at 11 a.m. for some riffing. And if you know of anybody, I'll conclude with another scary story. There's a group called Republic, which is an anti-monarchy group out here. They received a letter, right? Very strange. They actually unsolicited received a letter from the government saying that they had permission to protest, but that if they were disruptive, they could go to jail for, I think, at least a year under this new thing. It was passed last Wednesday, or not yesterday, the week before, and it was basically a protest act, public order, like you can protest, but it has to be nice. And it reminds me of these old ladies that were protesting against the destruction of Hythe, which this council took part in. They wanted to build a smart city, they call it down there. So they got rid of all of these swans, all this beautiful aviary wildlife, just gone, to build this ugliness at the central government, Tory, Sunak, Johnson, Keir Starmer behest. These droid men. And I went out there they were having a boot sale and to raise funds, and I suggested then, it was 2.5 years ago, I said, have you thought about not paying your council tax, for 1 month? That's all it would take. And I feel like the Music Man. We got trouble. Oh, we got trouble. We got trouble here. I said, what if this isn't Boris Johnson? Like these are local assholes that are here, that are fucking you in the ass, and wildlife and nature, and just ruining everything and stealing your money to do it, to get it done. 1 month, nobody pays. Just one month. And they will come to you and say, what is the matter? Anyway, I pitched that idea to them, and I said, what do you guys think about, just not paying your council tax for 1 month? Oh, well, no, they'll come after you. Yes, they would. They'd come after, but not if we do it all at once and just for 1 month. And if you didn't, they'll say, what's the matter? And we'll say, we don't want that shit. We want the swans. We'd rather have the swans and the birds instead of the electronic digital 5G skate park. And they said, well, no, they'll come after you. There's no way to go but mad. Just like in America, but in a different way. It's like, I ain't gonna fucking work in a shithole all my life. I'm gonna be king of my own head. My name is Ed Gein, and I'm running for president of myself. Mama. It rubs the lotion on the skin, or else it gets hers again. Put a fucking lotion in the basket. What was I talking about? I should wrap up. Oh, no. Yes, do I? No, I wanted to finish something. Oh, that thing. Yeah, so that woman who said that, they come after you. Before that, she was describing the protest. They had recently had a protest to stop the bulldozing of this beautiful natural area called in Hythe, Prince's Parade. And she said, it was a lovely affair. Oh, yes, well, the police were on one side, and they said, we were allowed to protest as long as we stayed on this side, and everybody was very respectful, and it was very lovely. And I thought, I just don't. It was, the police told you to. Did you ever see Chicago 68? Did you ever see any footage on the civil rights movement? When they tried to cross Selma, had no history. You got the caftan on, you've got the look of a baby boomer, but did you not? Was there no reading of papers or current events at the time of what a protest was? It was very respectful. They were there, and we obeyed the rules, and the bulldozer was in the middle, and the cops were here, and we were there, and it was nice. Oy vey. Anyway, and then I pitched to her. I said, what about not paying the council tax for me? How about it? Let's have a blood pact here. Let's do this. Oh no, they'd come after you then, wouldn't they? They'd come after you. I'll say, well, so they would, yeah. And that's what happened in France. So they'd cut the king's head off, but they'll come after you, wouldn't they? Well, they did, didn't they? Anyway, I think that's it for me, man. I just wanted to, I guess, maybe take part in my own way in this national intelligence test on Saturday. So 11 a.m., maybe 10:30 if I get up that early, but I think the big show's happening at 11 a.m. So that'll cover everything. You know, my commentary on the oath, the homage of the people. The homage of the. It's an invitation from Justin Welby. And it's just. That means that anybody, you know, even if you're in Paducah, Kentucky, you know, and you happen to be watching just for shits and giggles, and you're on crystal meth, you know, and hey man, dude, man, let's do it, man, you ready? Okay, what's it say, man? Get it, ready? Okay, what's that? What do you call that motherfucker? That bald motherfucker? Is that a priest? Archbishop, man, fucking Archbishop, man. Jamie, Sean, come here, man. Ready? Ain't gonna do this shit, man. It's like, what is it, like a magic spell? It's not gonna make my dick fall off, is it? Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Okay, ready? Okay. I swear that I will pay true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors according to law. So help me God. Hey, man. Hey, man. I'm fucking British, man. Yeah, man. Which technically means that he'll have more people than ever, you know, do reverence to him. You know, more than Alfred the Great, more than William III. King Charles, you know, thanks to this video, like he could have somebody in Paducah, Kentucky. No offense to anybody from Paducah, you know, I'm from Sedalia, so it's kind of the same thing. You just, you know, everybody's named Jamie and Sean, regardless of what gender. I told Sean last night, man, fucking Jamie. Jamie took my truck, man. Took Sean in my fucking truck. Sean picked up Sean. Jamie wasn't even there. Fuck her and him, or her, him, her. Jamie, Sean, Jamie. Fuck yeah. No, man. I'm from Paducah, but you can't prosecute me under the American owning a crystal meth lab, motherfucker, because as of fucking May the 6th, I'm a fucking subject to King Charles, motherfucker. Would you like to see my fucking oath that I recorded? I don't know you shit. You're not allowed to search my property. The only person I'll fucking answer to, motherfucker, you know, is King old Charlie himself. You get King Charlie down here, man. That's who I talk to, man. I'm his subject, motherfucker. I ain't the subject to any fucking Kentucky PD, motherfucker. You motherfucker, I know my rights, motherfucker. I'm a British subject, motherfucker. Okay, I gotta go. I hope you enjoyed this. Do be watching this space Saturday, May the 6th, for the alternative commentary to the Coronation of King Charles III. Should be very respectful, very polite. I know when I did my video on the Queen's passing, there was a rather persnickety comment from some young fellow who said, "Is now the right time?" And he had a good point. No, then was not the right time. I always believe when it comes to current events, one should wait many, many decades before making a milquetoast response. I think if you want to see real social change in the world, that's the order of procedure one should undertake. Anyway, I've had a lovely time performing for you all today. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/Franklin to find out more, or just become a patron. And I do hope you enjoy and invite me for the alternative commentaries, the Coronation of King Charles III, Part 3. This time it's for real. Bring your 3D glasses.